Hi Year 3, welcome to your maths lesson today. Today we're going to be looking at how we can calculate the answer to a subtraction calculation using a find the difference strategy. If you remember from before Christmas, we've been looking at lots of different ways that we can work out sums like this one, and then which way is the quickest and most efficient way of working them out. So today we're looking at a find the difference strategy. Now, looking at this question, I know that lots and lots of you will be able to do this in your head just like that very, very quickly. However, we're just going to look at this question and think about the different ways that we could do it so that they will help us in a moment when the questions become ever so slightly more tricky. So 50 take away 30. One of the ways that you could do this is, I know one of you would say 5 tens take away 3 tens is 2 tens. I know this because I know that 5 take away 3 is 2. So 5 tens take away 3 tens is 2 tens. Another way that you could do it is, and this is the way that we're going to be practicing today, is by saying, okay, instead of doing a takeaway, I could start at the number 30 and count on in tens until I get to 50. So 30, 40, 50. That's 20. So if we just use a number line to show that, we're going to be starting at this number here, this smaller number here, and we're going to be finding the difference, all the numbers between 30 and 50. So, if I draw myself a number line, I'm going to start at 30. The next multiple of 10 after 30 is, do you know it? The next multiple of 10 after 30 is 40. So I'm going to jump to the next multiple of 10, which I know is 40. How many did I jump forward? I jumped forward 10. I'm still trying to get to this number, remember, so I'm at 40 now. The next multiple of 10 I could jump is to 50. There's another 10 that I've jumped. I'm at this number here, now I can stop jumping forward and I can add up the two jumps that I've made. 10 and 10 makes 20. And there's my answer. Instead of doing a takeaway calculation, I have changed it to do a find the difference calculation. You'll often see the words find the difference in word problem questions where it requires you to do a subtraction. So that's what we're going to be practicing today. I'm finding the difference between two numbers. Let's do another example. "70 take away 42. Okay, again, some of you might say, Miss Palmer, but I can do this in my head. But remember, we are learning to use a strategy today that's going to help us when the questions become slightly more tricky. So let's think about finding the difference here. I'm going to start at 42 and count on until I get to 70 to find the difference between these two numbers. So, starting at 42 on my number line, and I need to get all the way up to 70. The easiest thing to do every time is to jump forward to that next multiple of 10. Now, I know that you all know your number bonds to 10. So 2 and what gets us to the next multiple of 10, gets us to 50. 2 and... Have you got it? 2, 42 and 8 takes us to 50. I've written my 8 in there because that's how many I've jumped forward. So now I'm at 50, I still need to get to 70. So I could jump forward another 10 to take us to 60. That would be 10. Then I could jump forward another 10 to get to 70. Now, the final thing that I have to do is I have to count how many I've jumped to get me my answer. So 10 add 10, 1 10 add 1 10 is 2 10s, so that's 20, 28. 28 is my answer. I've found the difference between 70 and 42. Let's do one more. I think what might be a good idea is if I get a new coloured pen, then I can write the steps that we need to follow in order to be successful. So let me just find a different colour. I think we'll go with red because it's important to know that the steps that we need to follow. So I hope these rub out. Okay, let's do another one. So this time we're going to do 96 take away 52. Okay, so the first thing we need to do, can you see that? Is start at this number here. This is the lower number. Start at the lowest number. Yep, you can see that, good. Okay, start at the lowest number. Okay, 52 is the number I'm going to start at. Can you remember what we should do next? We're trying to find the difference. We're trying to get to this number here, 96, but what do we need to do? We've got 52. Let's jump to the next multiple of 10. Do you know what that multiple of 10 would be? 60. You're absolutely right. How many have we jumped forward from 52 to 60? You know your number bonds, 2 and what makes 10? 2 and 8, absolutely. 2 and 8 takes us to 60. Still need to get to 96. Some of you might be thinking, Miss Palmer, do right the next step. Number 2, the second thing that we did is we found the difference to the next multiple of 10. Can you still see that? Okay, it might be a little small, so sorry if it is. Okay, now we still need to get to 96. You do not have to keep jumping in 10s if you do not want to. You might know that 60, you might want to take 60 all the way up and get to 90. Another multiple of 10, but not the next one. 60 to 90. What is the difference between 60 and 90? 60, 70, 80, 90. What is the difference between those two numbers? 30 30. You're absolutely right. Are we at 96 yet? No. So, step number 3. Found or find? Let's change that to find. Find the difference to another multiple of 10. I chose to find the difference to 90 because 90 is really, really close to the number that we're trying to reach. So, I've jumped to 90. I still need to get to 96. So, 90 to 96 is how many? 6. So all that's left to do, number 4, is to add up your jumps. So, how are we going to do this? 30, add 8, add 6. It's up to you how you do this. I'm going to do 8 and 6 is 14. Plus the 30, 8 and 6 makes 14. 30 is 44. So our answer is 44. I found the difference. Okay? I'm going to rub this part off now, and I'm going to write one up here for you to have a go at on a piece of paper. So if you need to grab a piece of paper, do that now. Okay, let's do (72) take away 29. So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to draw my number line here. I'm going to start at this number, 29. Now, pause the video here and see if you can work out with some jumps and get all the way up to that 72 number following these instructions. Okay? Pause the video, have a go now, and then when you're ready, play it again and we'll go through it. Okay, hopefully you paused it for a moment and you're ready to go through it. So, we're starting at 29. We need to get to 72, remember. So, let's jump forward to the next multiple of 10 because we all know that the next multiple of 10 is really an easy place to go from. What is the next multiple of 10 after 29? Let's get to 30. We've jumped forward just 1 to get to 30, and it's important that I write that 1 in that gap there. Then we're at 30, and we need to get to the multiple of 10, that is 70. 70. Let's jump forward to 70. Ooh, how many have I jumped forward? How many 10s? The difference between 3 and 7 is 4, so it must be 4 10s, which is 40. I'm at 70 now and I only have 2 more to jump. So, taking me to 72, I've jumped forward 2, and now all I need to do is add up my jumps. 40, add 2, add 1, 42, 43. So my answer is 43. Did you get that? Give yourself a big tick and a pat on the back if you did. Well done. Don't worry if you didn't get it. This is casting your mind back until before Christmas. I can barely remember it, so don't worry if you're struggling to remember this strategy. We will keep going. If you didn't quite get that wrong, if you didn't quite get that right, do go back to the beginning of this video and watch it again. And what I would do if I were you would be to write down all of the questions and give them a go yourself before I go through them on the video. You can pause this video at any time and then keep playing it. So if you need to go back to the beginning and do some of the examples that we've already gone through, do that. The rest of you, if you're feeling okay about this, move on down the sheet, and there's a part 1 and a part 2 for you to have a go at. Part 1 and part 2 I would like everybody to have a go at. And if you're feeling like you're up for a challenge today, your brain needs to do some extra work perhaps after the Christmas break, then there is a part 3 and a part 4 for you to have a go at. But these are optional and you do not have to do them if you are finding it tricky or if you do not want to. But you must all have a go at part 1 and part 2. At the bottom, something else that I would really like it if you could all do for me. At the bottom of the sheet, there is a little space for you to indicate, like a traffic light, whether you found this really hard, a little bit hard, but it was okay, or if you found it really easy. And I'd like you, if you found it really hard, you found it really hard, but you've really tried hard with that positive attitude, you found it tough, I'd like you to put your name next to the red, okay, the red mark. If you found it okay, a little tricky, but it was okay, if you're in the middle, then put your name next to the amber colour. And if you found it really, really easy and you think you've flown through all of those, put your name next to the green. Do you think you can do that? That would be really helpful for me, because then I can figure out what we can do tomorrow and whether we need to do this a little bit more or whether we can move on to the next thing. Okay? Thank you so much for watching this video. And like I said before, if you're still not sure, maybe go back to the beginning of the video and have another watch. Okay? And send me your work. I can't wait to see it. Okay? See you tomorrow.